Hey there, everybody. Welcome to another 4-Minute Offense with Ray Carcillo. Today, I'm reviewing Wolfenstein Youngblood. And of course, as always, thank you so much for tuning in to Geeks Who Like Sports and our Geeks Who Like Sports network. We are trying to bring you new and fun content as much as possible. Speaking of which, me and Lee will have a new episode up shortly, or soon at least. We are both recovering from PAX still. We hope you guys enjoyed that live episode. I know I am still getting over the PAX pox, but we wanted to at least get you some fun stuff out there. Let you know we're still alive, we're still ticking. But today we're reviewing, like I said, Wolfenstein Youngblood. It's from Bethesda and MachineGames. This is the Switch version, because I was curious personally to see how it would play on the Switch as a first-person shooter. And let me tell you, folks, first-person shooters, with the Pro Controller, it still works fine. With the holding it like a portable system with the Joy-Cons, not as good. Not nearly as good. Also, something you'll notice with Wolfenstein Youngblood, definitely from a technical standpoint, I've seen videos of the Xbox One and PS4 versions, and not surprisingly, they look a lot better. Not a little better, a lot better. So that is definitely a detriment to Wolfenstein Youngblood on the Switch. Maybe a little disappointment, makes me think I may have made a mistake doing it for this system, but nonetheless, the story is still the same, the gameplay is still the same, and if you enjoyed shooting Nazis as much as me and Lee do, if you enjoyed doing it as much in the first two Wolfenstein games from MachineGames, then I think you will definitely find something still to enjoy here. You play as BJ Blazkowicz's twin daughters. There's also a two-player co-op mode as they search for their dad, who is lost behind enemy lines in still Nazi-controlled Paris. What's nice is that after the events of the last game, America has been liberated, but basically Nazi Germany still has control of mainland Europe. You are trying to put a dent into that operation by going to help and get your dad, who is on a top-secret mission to try and undermine the Nazis in Paris. I will say this, the gameplay, again, still handles very, very well. The co-op was a nice addition, but I will say this, it was a little bit of a gimmick, almost too gimmicky. Like, especially playing by myself, I found the friendly AI was not nearly as good as it needed to be. I also feel that with Nintendo not having the best system into place in terms of communicating with a friend, so doing this in terms of online co-op wasn't nearly as efficient as I would have preferred. Obviously, I will say that there was no lag. The online worked fine, but yeah, it felt very gimmicky. It felt very light on story as well. For the first two games that were so story-driven and so character-driven and really made you care about BJ Blazkowicz and all the rebels and everybody that he worked with, it really felt like his daughters felt like they were just really one-dimensional and one-note and just not interesting whatsoever. And all the characters that they end up interacting with are also very bland. The twist at the end was very predictable. I'm not going to say what it is, but there is a twist coming, and you'll probably figure out what it is after a mission or two, like I did. So yeah, so this is unfortunately good gameplay, bad story. The graphics aren't great. From a technical standpoint, this wasn't terrific. But if you're like me and you just love shooting Nazis, you can kind of look past a lot of all that. But considering I gave the first two games in the Wolfenstein series 8.5s out of 10, this is definitely a step backwards in my opinion. I'm only giving it a 6.5 out of 10. So that was very, very disappointing for me, especially on the Switch. I could imagine it being a half point higher on Xbox One and PS4, depending on how the visuals look throughout the whole rest of the game. But on Switch, which is what I reviewed this on, 6.5 out of 10. So very, very disappointing there. Wolfenstein Youngblood. If you love killing Nazis, you won't have a bad time. I mean, the game, I will say this, the game is already on sale for $30 or $40, depending on what system you get it for. So it's less than your typical $60 purchase. I think that Bethesda MachineGames kind of understood that there's not as much content here as the first two games. So they were kind of like, let's just try and get this out. They really do rely on that co-op gimmick, which personally for me did not work. So yeah, 6.5 out of 10, Wolfenstein Youngblood. If you really love shooting Nazis, give it a look. Otherwise, you could probably pass on this. Save your money for a lot of the other great first-person shooters that are coming out later this year. Thank you for tuning in to 4-Minute Offense. Stay tuned to the rest of Geeks Who Like Sports Network. We've got a lot of great stuff coming on the way, like I said, including probably more stuff coming out of PAX and some special NHL 20 stuff we're working on. So definitely stay tuned for that. And thanks again for watching, folks. I'm Ray Carcillo.